Hopefully my audio is okay. My audio is okay now. Sorry about that. Just experiencing some audio issues, but we are back in time for the race. At least we did miss qualifying, so that is unfortunately my bad. But we are here for the race, which is obviously the main part of the race here. But yeah, welcome to WOR Season 12 here on the PlayStation platform. This is Tier 2, and I am definitely not a voice people are familiar with when it comes to commentating. But I am VFR Chazza, and I will be commentating here on this Australian Grand Prix. As you can see, we're riding on board with Senna, who is on pole position, with a 1 minute 20.7, I believe the lap time was. Matt is alongside him on the front row, CRE Matt. Another CRE in Will, he starts in P3. Oh, we'll get the tyres up. Completely missed that. Timon in P4, Sick Boy in P5. Is that Masiak? I'm really sorry if I butchered that pronunciation. In P6 in the Aston Martin. Not LOI C-Box. Chris RBL in P7. C-Box in P8. Maxi P9. Prime Turbo rounding out your top 10. All the drivers in the top 10 starting on the soft tyres, that's what they qualified on. Nath Clark, who's got the P11 free choice of tyre, net P1 spot. Raphael, who is on the hard tyres in P12, VTF1 Gaming on the mediums in P13, CRE Tom P14, and LFR Scotty rounding out the grid this evening in P15 on the medium compound of tyre. As the drivers will get back into their grid slots as the formation lap is now over, and we will get underway shortly. So here we go then. The drivers are in their positions. We've got 5 red lights. The drivers revving up. And we are underway here in Australia. And Senna gets away easily with Matt not really pressuring from behind as Senna gets away A-OK. The drivers seem to be getting away A-OK. Senna leads the way from Matt in P2. Will, Time and Sick Boy rounding out your top 5. Chris and C-Bucks and Maxi now going wheel. C-Bucks down the inside and up into P7. Maxi and Nath Clark going side by side there. Nath Clark a little bit forced off road there from the Ferrari, but the Ferrari gets the position in P8. Masiak falling down to P10. Tom in P11. Scotty, who has already got a penalty. Let's just see what that penalty... Oh, it's a drive-through. Tom, Scotty and VTF1 Gaming are going to have to serve drive-throughs within the next 3 laps. Raphael Gaming and Prime Turbo rounding out your grid. But yeah, Senna still leading the way. We're on board with the Alpine, navigating his way through turn 12 comfortably. Matt is in P2, not really pressuring as Scotty has lost it at that turn 12. It's so easily to lose it there, and a virtual safety car has been deployed for Scotty crashing there at turn 12 chicane. Senna still leading the way. Let's have a look at the positions gained. And yeah, position. We've actually got time and going to take advantage of this. Of course, on the Masiak is in the pits as well. He also. I'm going to switch to the mediums. Masiak back to green. We are back to green. We're back racing. 6/10 lead to Matt in P2. Will hanging on the back of Matt, not really pressuring. He's managing that ERS fairly well. He's pretty much got it full. Yeah, he's now got it full there, going into that braking zone. Sick Boy, again, near enough full on the battery charge. Of course, you're not really going to use much, are you? You're only 2 laps into the race. But Senna is slightly pulling away now from Matt. He is, yeah, look at that, 9/10 in front of Matt. Matt's better be careful if he's going to drop out of that DRS of CRE Senna, as we've got a yellow flag, and that is for Masiak, just coming out the pit lane. Of course, he did get wing damage on that opening lap, unfortunately. He fell quite far down the grid, and his race, unfortunately, took another hit there with that spin. But yeah, Senna, look at that. He's broken out of the DRS. 1.2 seconds is the gap as he makes his way round the final corner onto the pit straight to start the third lap. Now, this is where DRS will be enabled, and it's important for Matt to stay in that DRS sick boy with the fastest lap of the race. VTF1 Gaming in the pit lane for assuming that he's going to be serving his drive-through, and I'm pretty sure he is. Yeah, he is. Yeah, no Alfa Romeo pit crew there. Let's just change it to the interval. On board with the Ferrari of Maxi there, just looking at C-Bucks, not really pressuring, just staying in the mirrors. Doesn't really need to quickly go for this overtake. Take its time here. And we've actually got Prime Turbo. Look at that, it's all over the back of Raphael. But you would assume so. Prime Turbo on the softs, Raphael on the hards, locking up there into that braking zone. Prime Turbo with such more grip on them soft tyres now, heading towards turn 12 is the Alpine and the Ferrari. We're on board with the Alpine. This is where DRS gets enabled now. Activating that DRS, it's not really going to be a hard fought move, is it, from the Ferrari? He knows Prime Turbo is on the soft tyres. He's going to make up some ground because he has fallen away from the soft pack, Prime Turbo, and he makes a move there back up into the points. Senna continuing to put fastest laps in there, but Matt went faster on that lap, but only just though, as he's still outside that DRS detection point. Senna is a bit low on the ERS. He really was pushing there to get out of that DRS zone. Matt has got a little bit more, as we've got C-Bucks now, and Chris battling away. C-Bucks barges his way through there and gets up into 5th place. And for Red Bull, it's not going to just let him force him off-road and go away, of course. He's still in that DRS, about 5/10 is the gap. So we've got a little train forming here with C-Bucks at the front, with Chris, Maxi, Nath Clark and Tom all in this train. Tom on the hard tyres in P9, not doing too badly here. He's of course on the alternate strategy like the man in front of him, Nath Clark, on the medium tyres. Oh, is Maxi there spinning again, and it's turn 12. It's claimed another driver here, but he's not out the race. I don't think there's wing damage on that Ferrari, so he can just spin back around and get going again. Of course, got to be careful on them tyres because they will be very, very hot after that spin. You just got to take it easy for a little bit, and then he'll be back to normal. Sector 3, as we've got a spinner, and that is Sick Boy, I believe. He's gone off. He's had a bit of a problem there, going over the line, and he loses a couple of places in the process. He's lost another one there, and I think he's had a tap against the barriers. I think he's got wing damage on that car because he's struggling to turn. Yeah, I think he does. It's going to have to be a lap of wing damage back to the pit lane. It's so unfortunate for Sick Boy. He was running quite high up in the order. He's now going to be tumbling back down and affecting his race. So Senna's still leading the way, and he's beginning to pull away again. Yeah, Prime Turbo himself up a place ahead of the damaged Sick Boy. Yes, Senna pulling away ever so slightly. 1.4 seconds is now the gap. I believe it was 1.2 a few laps ago. Ahead of Matt. Will is not letting that go. We're on board with the Haas, man. He's got a lot more of the ERS. Matt's just under 50%, and Will close to having it full charge. He's been managing it because he hasn't needed to use it with the help of DRS, of course, as he's getting closer into turn 1, but not looking for the move. Sick boy in the pit lane. I wonder what he'll go on to. Maybe say hard tyres now, maybe? Let's see what he goes for. Is the AlphaTauri in the pits? He's going for the hard compound tyres, which should take him to the end of the race. But go back up to Will, who's just telling Matt, I'm there, I'm waiting for you for the overtakes. We've got another yellow flag, and that's one of the Ferraris. It's Maxi. Excuse me. He's had another problem there. He's also got wing damage as well on that right hand side, so he's going to have to navigate his way back to the pit lane. So yeah, back to the front. Will, not using any of the ERS Prime Turbo, gets the first of track limit warnings tonight in P8. 3 seconds will be added to his end race time. Yeah, CRE Will using a little bit now of the ERS. Using a bit of that ERS, he's getting ever so closer. He's going to pull out to the inside line. He's going to back out. That's quite smart, that, from Will. He could go for it here. He's nearly lost the rear there, putting that ERS on too early, did Will, and nearly paid the price for it. It was a good save in the end from the Haas. He hasn't lost any time at all to Matt, despite that little error. So he's a lucky boy, isn't he? Clark getting past Chris. And then Chris has actually spun. Not sure if there was contact there. Didn't seem like it. He seemed like he got the move done there. It seemed like he was a full car length ahead, but there might have been a new contact. And Chris is damageless, I believe. Yeah, Maxi in the pits. He's finally in there after doing a lap of that wing damage. He's on at the set of hard tyres, which will take him to the end of the race. But yeah, Will is the only driver that's in DRS range of another car so far. Everyone's quite evenly spread out. And this pressure from Will is actually letting Senna extend the gap at the front. It's now 2.6 seconds now at the front. Yeah, Will, he's getting it. He's just staying in his mirrors. He's not gonna let Matt go. He's gonna stay there. He's gonna use a bit of that battery. He's gonna go for it this time. Pulls out to the inside line and gets it done before the corner. And Will moves up into second place. And he could try and eat into that gap on Senna. And see if he can get out of that. See if he can pull out with that 1 second mark, so he hasn't got any threat from behind. So yeah, Matt's down into third. But now he should do what Will was doing when he was behind him, using GRS, saving that battery, and then getting back in front, because that's what Will's done. Like now look at that. Now they've pretty much got the same amount of ERS, Will, with a little bit more. Yeah, Will is now using it to try and eat into that gap, which is not really getting into at all. 2.4 seconds, the gap in front. Senna is really giving it everything. Look, he's got no ERS at all. So maybe the perfect opportunity is now to really go for it, as Tom has now crept into that 1 second zone of Nath Clark. Just gone out of it there, but it really is going as the race leader now pits. Senna into the pit lane. Matt is going to follow him. Will is going to stay out and take the race lead. Senna in the pit lane for a set of the medium tyres, along with Matt, which will promote Nath Clark, Tom, Prime Turbo up the order. Yeah, Tom is now in that DRS range of Nath Clark. No threat yet, but there might be in a few laps' time. This is actually a three-man fight going up, 7th, 8th and 9th. Raphael who is under pressure from Senna, who's just came out the pit lane. Another yellow flag. I don't think that was for anything. Yeah, but Senna just come out the pit lane on a set of the medium tyres. He's just looking to get straight past and see if he can extend his lead even further. Yeah, he's on the back of the Ferrari. He's got so much more grip compared to them 8-lap old hard tyres. Into turn 12. Cutting that corner there, that could have been a possible warning, but here goes Senna on the Ferrari as a virtual safety car has actually been deployed. He was going to go for the move there, but the safety car has been deployed. Maxi has gone off in the middle sector, and this is going to benefit Will as Tom's speeding in the pit lane, getting a 5-second penalty. But yeah, this is going to benefit Will. Set of the medium tyres goes on. Also going to benefit the likes of Seabucks, CRE Tom, Prime Turbo. Let's see. Will. Yeah, Will's going to come out in the net race lead. It's a full safety car now. That's really benefited Will. And now he's got ahead of Senna, who was around about 2.5 seconds in front before he made his pit stop. But yeah, the full safety car is out. And Nath Clark will take the lead. But after his pit stop, Will be in the net P1. Raphael in P3 on them hard tyres. Senna, who's our pole sitter, in P4. Time in P5. Seabucks, Matt, Tom, Prime Turbo, and Chris are your top 10. Maxi and Scotty, two DNFers so far. We are in lap 10 here in Albert Park. So, safety car. This will give the drivers some ERS deployment. Some of them was running quite low. So like Senna, he was literally used it all and then boxed, and now he's got it all back. Yeah, everyone's caught up apart from Sick Boy and Maciak, who did pit for a set of the medium tyres. I believe they were both on hard tyres, as VTF1 Gaming is actually in the pit lane here. I'm not sure if he'll come out ahead of Sick Boy. I don't think he will. In fact, it could be close actually. He's gone onto a set of soft tyres as VTF1 Gaming, so he's gone for the aggressive approach, and he'll come out. Yeah, he'll come out at the back. So he's going for the aggressive approach. So obviously we'll have to pit again. But he'll join up at the back on fresh softs tyres. CRE Tom has got a 5-second penalty. Prime Turbo with a 3-second penalty. But yeah, on board here with Nath Clark, who is currently the race leader. He is still yet to pit. However, this safety car is probably going to benefit the medium guys to do a medium soft, potentially. So the likes of Nath Clark and Timon. Potentially do that medium soft strategy. We'll see if that's what they go for later on in the race. He's just coming up towards turn 12 now, getting some heat into the tyres. The safety car is in this lap, so we'll be going back to green racing once we cross the line. So Nath Clark will become safety car as it almost, and he will get this race back underway. He will have Will on a fresh set of medium tyres behind him, looking to get straight past him and blitz off, go into the distance and drive away from his rivals who are in even more traffic than him. So Nithkalak, let's see when he will go. He's coming towards the penultimate corner now. Just getting some heat in the tyres. Let's see when he will go. He is gone now. He is gone now, and Will was prepared for it, but he's got Raphael on the hard tyres looking for a move, and he won't take it in at turn one. Oh, he's lost a bit of traction there, and Senna swoops around his outside into turn one and moves up into P3. It's now just him and Will. There's no cars in between. Senna looking to take his lead back as Raphael and Timon going wheel to wheel. A Ferrari gets pushed off the road and he falls down to P4, and there's contact being made, unfortunately, for Raphael. He's in the wall, and I think he does have wing damage on that right hand side. In fact, it doesn't look like it, so maybe he can get going again. But Nath Clark still leads the way. No attempt yet from Will to take the lead of the race. He's allowing Senna. The more and more he doesn't get past Nath Clark, he's just allowing Senna to get closer and closer. Time and there just falling off as Chris gets a 3-second penalty. He's just falling a bit off the back of Senna at the minute, but he's actually got no threat from behind of Seabucks. And of course the DRS of course been disabled since the safety guard had come out, but it'll get enabled shortly. Yeah, we're on board with the Alpine now, who is now on the back of Will. Looking to take his race back. Nath Clark he's defending the position. He's using the ERS to keep Will behind. Masiek in the pits again, along with Matt. Oh, it's a great exit there from Will coming off turn 2. He pulls to the outside of the Williams. He's on the outside, braking just slightly later. Gets the inside line for the next corner, but they're still going side by side. Swooping round the outside goes the Haas, and he moves up into the race leader's team up. There's Senna now down the inside of Nath Clark. Oh, he gets a bit pushed off road, but there he's back. He's into second place. Timon and Nath Clark, they'll both fighting, but I think the team orders came into play there, and they were not in the fight. Prime Turbo now on the back of Seabucks, coming into turn 12. We're on board with the Alpine. He gets a much better exit, but he has to brake there. He would have gone straight into the back of him. Time in there getting a 3-second penalty. CRE Tom just falling out with that 1 second zone, but he's now back in it. So he's a little bit struggling there, Tom. Say that, he has actually just got back into about 5/10 gap. Prime Turbo was a little bit close there. DRS is now being re-enabled, so we should see some more overtakes. No one really threatening, but there is a train beginning to form from 1st to 8th. As we're on board with Senna, looking at CRE Will, looking to see if he can force a mistake, but Senna, he's got 40% of the battery. Will, he's got 70%, so Will doing quite well here in terms of managing his ERS levels. And who was that? That was Nath Clark, and I think he got on that curb at turn 11. I think, yeah, you can so easily there, you can use all that extra curve all you want, but if you use too much of it, you can just spin out. I think that's what Nath Clark did. Doesn't seem to have any damage on that car. Yeah, just a spin, I think, for the Williams. Prime Turbo on the back of Seabox, who's lost the 1 second to Timon, so there'll be no DRS for Seabox. So Prime Turbo now has got a chance to get himself up into P4. He's in the slipstream. Looks to pull out of the inside, comes back in. And could potentially go for it here instead. Oh, it's nearly losing the rear. In fact, Nath Clark must have got damage. He's in the pit lane as there's a swap for the lead. Senna taking his lead back that he had before the first round of pit stops. Takes the lead back, moves up into P1. Will in P2. Timon on 13 lap old mediums doing a great job in P3 as Masiak setting that fastest lap of the race of 1:23.611. Yeah, we're on board with Timon. He's got much older medium tyres compared to the two in front of him, but he's doing a good job to hang on. Seabuck's not really getting close to him. He's got a 7/10 gap behind. But we'll see what will happen. Yes, Senna's there to get past Will. So he's going to have to try and manage. Will did a good job of that, but you think he just let Senna go, and you think he's just going to manage and save it up for another overtake. Just to navigate the way onto the pit straight to start lap number 16 of 29. Timon there just hanging in the back on him. VTF1 Gaming gets a 3-second penalty. Oh, it's Timon. Oh, he nearly lost it there, just on the grass slightly, and that's allowed Seabucks now to go on his inside. Bit of contact there. Seabucks a little bit forced off road. He's going to have the inside line though, going into the next corner. Bit of momentum there. Timon goes a little bit wide and loses a place to Prime Turbo in the process as CRE Tom there going a bit off track. Sick Boy looking for the overtake. Oh, is Tom there losing snap of the rear. Sick Boy goes darting around the outside, moving up into P6. Timon on the back of Prime Turbo. He's just lost a couple of places, unfortunately. In the process, he's allowed Seabucks to move into the podium places. It wasn't really threatening Timon, but now he's up into P3 and looking to get into Will's DRS. He's not really got much DRS though. Tom and Sick Boy going wheel. Sick Boy on the inside line, going into the penultimate corner. Tom, later on the brakes, defends the move. Raphael getting a penalty down in P12. But Senna's still leading the way back at the front. He's got no ERS. Look at that flashing red light on the back of his car. Will knows he has no ERS at all. So Will knows he can be patient with this, with that 70% ERS battery charge. But yeah, he's got no threat behind him. 1.3 seconds to LOI Seabucks. Nath Clark setting the fastest lap of the race in P9. There's some battles beginning to form now. Senna and Will at the front, and then Seabucks, Prime Turbo, Timon, Tom, Sick Boy for a battle for P3. Of course, there is penalties involved, as we will go to them. Timon and Prime Turbo on 3 seconds. Prime Turbo looking at Seabucks into turn 12. Gets a much better exit than Seabucks. Seabucks going to be vulnerable now with the places. Timon has crashed out the race. Prime Turbo has gone for the move down the inside, and the safety car has been deployed, and he has got the move done before the safety car came out. Good move there from Prime Turbo to move up into the podium places right before the safety car came out. Is there going to be any people diving into the pit lane? So unfortunate for Timon is, yeah, there we go, there's Tom in the pits. Wonder what he will go on to. I'm not sure if the softs can make the rest of the race, but he's going for it. He's boxing for the soft tyres. Of course, he needs to serve that 5-second penalty he got before early in the race for speeding in the pit lane. And he should come out in P7. I think he will. Nath Clark also in the pit lane. Nasiak staying out. Matt is going to box. Nath Clark in the pit lane. Let's just see what he goes for. Is he also going to go for the soft tyres? He's going for the inters. That's a very interesting call. As Matt has gone for a fresh set of soft tyres. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be raining. It has got a lot more overcast though, so he might have played a phenomenal call from Nath Clark if it does end up raining. Yeah, Raphael's also gone for it as well. There's no rain just yet, but it is... The sky has got darker. So maybe if it's got to rain now though, if it's great call. But yeah, Matt's pitted for fresh softs. Gaming moves up at P10. But yeah, Senna leading the way with Will in P2. Prime Turbo in P3. Does have a penalty, remember. Seabucks and Sick Boy 4th and 5th. Chris in P6 also with a penalty. CRE Tom on fresh soft tyres. He's going to be the one to watch in this restart. Everyone in front of him on used mediums. 8 lap old, 9 lap old mediums. Compared to Tom's fresh soft tyres. Merciak also on softs, but they're slightly older. 5 lap old. Nath Clark on intermediates. That's a very, very interesting call. I'm not sure if it's the right call, but we'll find out. We will find out. VTF1 Gaming on softs in P10. Matt's on fresh softs in P11. Raphael P12 on the intermediate tyres. Timing. Unfortunately, DNFing out the race course in this current safety car. Maxi and Scotty are your other DNFers. So the safety car should be in at the end of this lap. I think Raphael will catch up for the next lap. So we will get back under green conditions. And I think the safety car will be out for another lap. The Ferrari of Raphael still hasn't caught up yet. But yeah, it's still not raining yet, but the sky is getting dark. It is dark, so they might have played this great call actually. Not sure what's going on there. Sick Boy and Chris swapping places. It's raining now, I think. Yes, it's raining now. And that is a brilliant call from Nath Clark. Yeah, Merciak's realised he's gone into the pit lane. Everyone else has stayed out. Merciak is in. VTF1 Gaming's in. Matt has stayed out. But it depends how heavy the rain gets. Of course, they've gone into the intermediates. VTF1 Gaming doing the same. Yeah, it depends how heavy the rain gets by the end of the next lap. It will decide people's races. But if it gets heavy enough, Nath Clark has done a brilliant call. And all these guys on the mediums are going to be very vulnerable to the guys behind on the intermediate tyres. I think we will get back to green flags as well at the end of this lap. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, look at that, Will. He's just really... They've got to get some sort of heat into these mediums. But I don't think it'll make a difference. Because they're going to have to pit anyways. Yeah, look at that. The rain getting slightly heavier as we go further around the circuit. Safety car is in this lap. So Senna's got to get this restart spot on before the intermediate guys start really relling in these guys. VTF1 Gaming, Merciak, Raphael and Nath Clark all looking pretty good now since the rain has begun to fall. But Senna will get us underway for the final 9 laps of this race. Senna's got to get this restart spot on. He's got to catch Will napping beautifully. Yeah, look at that. He's nearly losing the rear there. He wasn't even on the throttle, but we are back away here in Melbourne. Senna leading the way. Will and Prime Turbo going wheel to wheel into turn 1. Prime Turbo backs out a bit though. Senna with a massive lock-up. And Tom and Sick Boy going wheel to wheel. Tom gets the move done. Of course, Tom's going to have slightly more grip than the guys on the medium tyres, as he is on set of softs. But the guys on the inters, I don't think it's raining hard enough. It's not raining hard enough at all, look. Nath Clark has lost about 6/10 there in just 2 corners. So I think they've just slightly got it wrong. But I think if it gets heavier, these will come back into the frame. But they're going to have to lose a little bit of time now. Chris and Tom battling. He's got a lot more grip compared to these on the mediums with the slight rain. Tom flying through the order now in P5. He's got no penalties to his name either, which is a bonus. Yeah, but look at that. He's gained on C-Bucks like it's nothing. Gained on C-Bucks like it's nothing. He's just... Softs are a lot more better in the rain than the mediums. Look at that. All over the back of him now. Less than a 10th and a half separates these two now. Tom's going to send him down the inside into the penultimate corner. Gets the move done. And he's got to get going before it gets heavier. C-Bucks is in the pit lane. Chris RBL is in the pit lane. Sick Boy is in the pit lane as well. They are going to go for the intermediate tyres. And I think Tom has got this spot on. Going for look at that. Will's just made a slight error there. And Prime Turbo now on the back of him. But look, and Tom just coming out of nowhere. Look, he's just so much better in the braking zone compared to these guys on the medium tyres. 2/10 now is the gap to him and Prime Turbo. Prime Turbo running a bit wide there. That's going to open the door for Tom to try and make a move, but he's not going to do it just yet. CRE Matt as well, he's catching up on this slightly. He's also looking A-OK. Guys, and Prime Turbo, not sure what's happened there, but I think there's been a collision with Prime Turbo and Tom, because that's allowed Matt to get up ahead of Tom. Not sure if Tom's got any damage. Doesn't seem like it, so he has lost an awful amount of time, but he has lost a crucial position to Matt, who is on the same tyre compound, as we've got a yellow flag, and that is for... Who's that for? That's for Chris, unfortunately. He's gone off at turn 10. But yeah, the guys in the inters, even though they're getting brought back into it, Will has got a penalty coming into the pit lane. It's not a speeding penalty. To track limit penalty. DRS has been enabled. Will it be enabled for long? We will find out. Matt and Turbo battling it out. Matt has got apparently his red light's flashing even though he does have DRS, but Prime Turbo is going to go for it now. Pulse to the inside line, heading towards turn 3. Matt was just so much better in the braking zone there. Prime Turbo just knew instantly. Kind of expected it. Tom has now caught back to the back of these. Oh, and that's I think that was a... Don't know if the back end just went there for Prime Turbo. That was very, very close between them two. C-Bucks get a 3-second penalty. But yeah, Tom moves up into the podium places. But all of this is just... Senna's doing phenomenally well on the medium tyres. 3.2 seconds in front, but that lead is getting et into. It is going down as the corners go by. It's now 3 seconds and 2.8 seconds. Yeah, I think... I'm not sure if the Inters are the fastest tyre right now. The Softs could be the fastest in this weather. Because the Inters, they're still a long way behind. DRS has now been disabled. That's when usually it's time to pit for the Inters. So I've just chatted a load of rubbish there. But yeah, Senna is now in the pits. Matt is also in the pits. Everyone's in the pits for the intermediates. This will promote Nath Clark into the lead of the race. and it'll promote Masiak into P2. Prime Turbo speeding in the pit lane. That is not good news for him whatsoever. That's really dented his race, because they're going to be close on track. They're going to be close on track. So Nath Clark takes the lead. Masiak in P2. Senna comes out in P3, so it's not actually that bad for Senna. Raphael in P4. Will in P5. VTF1 Game in P6. Matt in P7. Tom Seabucks Sick Boy complete your top 10. Prime Turbo, yeah, that 5-second penalty is really hurt him. He's now outside the points. Chris in P12. That's really hurt Turbo. There's going to be another train for him, but look at Nath Clark, 7.9 seconds in front of Masiak. He's really thriving in these conditions, and with pretty much a full battery, you know. Let's see who is close. Look, Will on the back of Raphael. His intermediate tyres slightly fresher, and he's going to go for it round the outside here in turn 12. This is really phenomenal if he pulls it off, and it's a brilliant move from the Haas car, moving up into P4, but Raphael is not going to have that whatsoever. And Will, brilliant defending, just put his car in the middle of the road so he couldn't make a move on the outside nor the inside. Prime Turbo with another penalty down in P11. Senna is starting to rail in. Masiak is the Aston Martin. As we are on board with the Alpine, of course. DRS is disabled now, so there won't be any moves down the straight, I wouldn't think. Probably just some in the braking zone, I would assume. He's got a good run on Masiak there. Masiak not using any of his battery, even though he's got a lot of it. Prime Turbo out the race and get out the race. Senna down the inside of Masiak gets the move done, and Prime Turbo retiring in the pit lane. Senna moves up into P2. He's now going to go after Nath Clark, and I think the gap's too big. 8.2 seconds with 4 laps to go. Nath Clark can just keep his cool. His race is all his. He could take the race win here. Sector 1, that is just for Prime Turbo's retired car coming out of the pits. Tom gets another penalty, I believe. That's him up to 6 seconds now. Oh no, it's not. It's just a 3-second penalty. 3 seconds for Will, Tom, Matt, Gaming, and Seabucks, along with Raphael and Chris. Sick Boy, if he can catch up a little bit, he could benefit from not having any penalties. Will now gets another penalty. He's now on 6 seconds. Senna is starting to bite. He's really starting to get into the lead. It was 8.2 seconds, now 7.5, 7.4 now. But is the gap too big? We will find out. Matt is on the back of Tom. This is for track position. They both got the same amount of penalties. Tom there running a bit wide. That could be another warning. Another step closer to another penalty. We're on board with the Mercedes, going after his fellow CRE man in the Aston Martin. It's not close up on this occasion, but he looks like he had a good turn 1 there. He got a little bit closer than usual. Tom has got literally no ERS whatsoever. He's got to be careful on that. Otherwise he's going to be vulnerable to Matt, who's got near enough 90% charge in his car. As he gets a penalty there, and that, even though if he will overtake him, that's not really going to help him at all. If Tom can just stay within that 3 second zone, he will get the place back. We're on board with Will, who's relling in Masiak. Oh, as he nearly spins there. It's a good save from Will, and he's fallen out the 1 second zone, even though the 1 second gap doesn't really matter in the wet, and his DRS is of course disabled. Yeah, Matt again, just no real threat on Tom. Tom is near enough got no battery charge. As Seabucks now relling in game, and they both got pretty much the same ERS levels, so this is just going to be on driver ability, this position. Who's nearly spinning the car there did Seabucks. The McLaren and the Alfa Romeo battling for P7. and P8. Seabucks is not close enough going into turn 1 to get that move done. Matt's not close enough to Tom either to get a move done into turn 3. Senna is really eating into that gap, but it's not quick enough. He's got to go even quicker, as we've got a yellow flag, and that is for Raphael, who spun round, unfortunately, after turn 1. And he's fallen out the points, unfortunately, for Raphael. Chris has been promoted to P10. Will has got the move done on the outside of Maziak. That was a nice move from Will. Maziak, though, if you can just stay with Will, Will has got 6 seconds. If you can just stay within 6 seconds of him, he'll get the place back on penalties of Will. Matt's still looking at Tom. He's not really threatening, even though Tom has got just over 15% ERS battery in Matt's 80% battery. Nath Clark starting the penultimate lap of this race. 5.7 seconds is the gap. Even though Senna's eating into it, I don't think it's going to be enough. He's not even got much ERS either. Nath Clark with 40%. This is Nath Clark's race to lose. Tom and Matt have now caught up to Maziak. Maziak 1.7 behind Will. We'll see if he'll stay in the 6 second zone, which should be able to. But he has got Tom on the back of him now. This has probably saved Tom from an overtake on Matt. Maziak has got a lot of ERS to manage, but they are on the same team, remember. Team orders could be coming into play here. Maziak could just let Tom by. And I think that's what Maziak is going to do into turn 12. Oh, there's a bit of contact there, actually, between the two Aston Martins. Oh, there's even more contact now. Just going to slow each other down and let Matt come into it. Tom does the switch back on his teammate. Up in the Tom is going to go for it now on both of these guys. He's not going to go for it, actually. Oh, Maziak going a bit wide there. Not sure if there's getting a bit more contact there. Matt moves up to P5. He's a lot closer to Tom this time round he was before they caught up to Maziak. We're on the final lap of this race. Nath Clark, I don't think was anywhere near the top in the dry. No disrespect to Nath Clark, but he pitted for the Inters a few laps before it started raining, and it was a brilliant call. It was a fantastic call from the Williams. He benefited from everyone pitting when it was raining, when the DRS got disabled, and he moved up into P1 with a comfortable gap around about 8.5 seconds. The gap's been cut down to 4.8 by Senna, but it's not enough to overtake him, as Nath Clark makes his way towards turn 12 chicane, and he will take a victory here around Albert Park. Matt he's fallen off the back of Tom slightly. Seabucks and Sick Boy, though, caught up to the back of Gaiman there. Seabucks making a slight mistake. Sick Boy, I think, is just a little bit too far back, but he will benefit from these two, as he have got no penalties, and these two in front do. But Nath Clark, he's made his way around the penultimate corner. He made a great call which completely changed his race. And Nath Clark in the Williams will take the checkered flag here in Albert Park. He wins the Australian Grand Prix. Senna will come home in P2, starting on pole position. Comfortable in the dry, but unfortunately he lost the lead. Will finish on the podium in P3. Tom is going to fend off Matt for P4. Matt will finish P5. In fact, no, completely forgot about Maziak. Maziak promoted to P4 with no penalties. Tom P5, Sick Boy in P6. Matt in P7, Game in P8, Seabucks and Chris rounding out your top 10. Seabuck's just a 10th off overtaking Gaiman there. Very unlucky. Raphael will finish in P11 as he just makes his way through turn 13. Unfortunate for Raphael. I think he had that spin, which unfortunately took him out of the points. Unfortunately, he will finish in P11. Prime Turbo, Time and Maxi and Scotty unfortunately did not finish this race. So Raphael just makes his way over the line, taking that final P11 spot to wrap up this race. The game has given driver of the day to the race winner, Nath Clark. I mean, it was a big call. He went for a huge gamble, and it did begin to rain, which I thought it was a great call for him, but it didn't rain. It didn't rain heavy enough for the intermediates to be the quickest tyre. It took about 4 or 5 laps for the DRS to disable, which then meant the intermediates were the faster tyre, and Nath Clark took the checkered flag with a brilliant win. He just thrived in the wet conditions. He takes the checkered flag and the fastest lap of the race from P11 on the grid. Senna, our pole sitter, takes P2. CRE Will rounding out your podium places. Aston Martin 4th and 5th. Good for the constructors. Maziak in P4, the Polishman in P4, Tom in P5. Sick Boy in the AlphaTauri finishes in P6. The Mercedes and Mats in P7. The German VTF1 Gaming in P8. Otherwise, Seabucks the Irishman in P9, and Chris getting the final point in P10. Raphael finishing in P11. Prime Turbo, Time and Maxi and Scotty unfortunately did not finish in this race. So that wraps up round 10, I think it is. Round 10 here at Albert Park, and what a win for Nath Clark to take the checkered flag here in Melbourne. Brilliant call in the dry conditions to take that checkered flag. So yeah, that is a wrap here in Australia. We'll be back next week in Portimao for the Portuguese Grand Prix, one of the newest tracks to be added to this game. We'll be back in 7 days' time for the next round in Portimao. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.